Greetings everyone, my name is Adderville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. In this weekly morning live stream, I'll be covering a combination of both Veersmith levels and some other levels I found online, primarily focusing on the former. So, welcome to the stream Hard Gus, Jedhawk, Paul, Raccoon, all the lurkers, and anyone else who I missed. My apologies for a short start delay, I was a bit preoccupied with something. I'm probably going to be covering levels for 90 minutes to 2 hours, but we shall see. Even if you only stop by for a few minutes, I quite appreciate it. Yeah, as these are the twilight years of Maker, we're probably not going to get as many stages, and as such, I'll be ending the stream sooner, unless it's like a level pack. So feel free to discuss other things like gaming-related topics, or the Triple I initiative. Thank you, CopyX. So let's begin with this stage, Avino Rosevine by Jedhawk74, 69 plays and a score 37. So, the itinerary for this weekend is, right now Maker, tonight Return of Demon Tides, or rather continuation, and tomorrow morning Super Mega Man 3. You know what, roll. Man, that's evil. Fake Yashishis. Yeah, I don't blame you, J-Butters. The more interesting streams are really like the Sunday morning streams, because I actually cover things that are different, and the evening streams. Well, mainly any stream that isn't Maker. Yeah, unfortunately, by this point in time, I've seen most of what Maker has to offer this current set of content, and the actual novel things barely get showcased for various reasons. Unfortunately, as is true with most Maker-like games, the really interesting stuff has to be searched out and curated. Like, I'm way more interested in looking into Demon Tides tonight, and to be honest, Super Mega Man 3 tomorrow, even though that game isn't actually even though that game is rather scrappy. In that case, I just hope, at the very least, I hope you attend some other streams. Not necessarily Maker, but other things on the channel. As I quite appreciate your commentary, J-Butters. Even if I don't necessarily agree with it all the time, it is insightful. Whoa. Black hole! Favorite Mega Man enemy? That is too broad a list, and I can't really remember all the names, so I'll have to use the scripters. I mean, we can't go wrong with, for example, the classic Mets, the Metools, Metars, whatever you call them. They're so iconic. The helmet/heart enemy is so iconic, and comes in many different varieties. And then we also have some other iconic enemies like the Joes and their mini variants and shield attackers, I'd say. You know, it's kind of funny. If you ask me what the iconic Mega Man enemies are from Mega Man Classic, When I say enemies, I'm not counting mid-bosses and bosses. I want to be clear. So no things like the Mecha Dragon or Boo Beam. Or infamous bosses like Quickman. Just the enemies. The top answers I give you are Metar on the top, then Sniper Joe, Shield Attacker, and I guess Octopus Battery? Susie? Baton also works, yeah. I know what my top 2 most memorable enemies for Mega Man would be, or most recognizable, but when I go to 3 or 4, it actually becomes difficult. What would you place in your top 3 most memorable Mega Man enemies? And yes, I know I cheated a bit because Metar refers to a bunch of enemies who are Metars or Metools. Same with Joes. I count Tama more as a mid-boss due to their durability, but I can see what you're going with. With Mega Man, the most memorable parts of the stages, in terms of recognizability, are they tend to be the stages themselves, or more specifically, the boss fights at the end. Not so much the minions they have scattered throughout. An 8-minute video, if I have time at the end, sure, why not? I'm probably going to be streaming for about 90 minutes of levels, so sure, I'll showcase it. Just send a link to it under the gaming channel. Non-catch is a neat enemy type, I'll say that. Ooh, lag. Blocks on the moving platforms. Tomahawks. It causes some funky lag. It is cool and it is cool, but it is performance intensive as the engine wasn't built for that. Still fell for it. I'll probably be taking sooner rather than later, I'll probably be taking a Maker weekend off. Like, instead of streaming Maker on one Saturday, I'll probably stream something else. As much as I like Maker, as I've been emphasizing throughout, there's just too many bled levels that it just feels kind of like time wasting. No offense if you like Maker, or want to keep seeing content. Like, I really much enjoy Maker, but yeah, at a certain point you get over Makered. Which is why I still give credit where credit's due for people like Mega Marino, who still continuously streams Maker on a week-to-week basis for much longer than I do. And they cover and their continuous effort to cover almost every single Maker stage uploaded. From all the terrible to all the amazing, from all these brain dead easy to oh my gosh Kaizo. That be true. Okay. Okay, so it's against 4. One after the other. Oh no. So close. I could have consumed the knee, but I want to be a little bit fair. Yeah, one of them is burst. Wonder what the other 2 are. Well, I can hazard a guess what they are. Bubble. They don't drop life pickups. You know, this setup actually just makes it easier for me. Poor Burst Man. Oh yeah. Roll advantage. Looks like I didn't need E-Tank after all. In response to Jay Butter's comments. It was a pleasant rompy level. That's all I'll say. Yeah, without a damaging roof, or some sort of other thing working with them, the burst bubbles, specifically the ones that just push you up instead of just encasing you, they're kind of a joke. They're just a minor nuisance. But if there is an obstacle that slows down your progress, in combination with that, or spikes, or it's anything else damaging, then they become a problem. Now the bubbles that encase the player, that's still an issue, because you have to fire to get out. Excuse me. Second up is Minivania 4 by Neo Cutman, 27 plays and a score of 8. It's a Metroidvania, but a very small one. Okay, the exit's close by. Got it. Okay, not... I guess this, if you want to condense it, is a Metroidvania. Let me speedrun it, actually. I guess if you want to condense it, it is a Metroidvania. Oh. Well, so much for that. I'm doing this because it's short enough and I really want to get that. Got it. Probably could have shaved 2 seconds off. It was a bit better with the... I didn't miss the timing on the orange switch, but otherwise... And a score, I guess it could be a Metroidvania, but... I guess if I wanted a Minivania, I would want 2 weapon pickups. Or ability pickups. But as it stands right now, it's novel. And I'll still put this over many other things. Number 3 up is Galactic Battleship by Sunflower Azumarill. 19 plays and a score of 3. The teleporter roof resets the level, or even teleport us to send you back. What games have you been playing this week, folks? I myself have been practicing for Super Mega Man 3, playing more Super Freaks 1 Ultimate Edition. I've also played some more Dome Keeper, Barotrauma. A few indie web games. And technically more Demon Tides. Is Super Mega Man 3 actually happening? Yep, tomorrow. No more delays. I did Super Mega Man 2 years ago. I'm finishing the trilogy. Drat. I missed it earlier. When I fully watch that movie, I'll get my full thoughts, but I'll just say it this way. From what I've heard and what I know and what I've seen from the first movie, I expect it to be as just as good as the first one, in the sense that it's not good. It's to me mediocre. It'll be at best mediocre. Oh, I'm sorry, Copy X. Hope and pray you get lucky with your RNG. So you only need to do 3 playthroughs. Oops. Okay, that's smart. You have them always respawn. Oh, I keep missing it, or... Oh, wait. Silly me. I thought I missed a collectible earlier, but no, it says flip it. When I eventually do the Mega Man Zero series, especially the first 2 games, I'm bringing another mod. We'll also do it for Blue Moon, but you're only gonna get the souls there. Okay, thank goodness. I thought for a moment there, I thought you were saying you're doing everything in Blue Moon as well, and I was saying, are you crazy? But no. Lights out. No. Neat idea to use the time slow block. Oh, neat idea to use the time slow blocks in conjunction with those enemies. Ah, trophy hunting. Oh. Darn it, that would have helped. I knew it. Good thing I died early. Hang on this moment while I get the E-Tank. No! Oh, good. Thank goodness Spike Guard saved me. Hold right. And it switches! Interesting shape. I'm standing here. He certainly is beautiful. Oh, the Spark Chaser. And in this engine, I would say the Gemini Laser is stronger. Oh my, okay. I didn't see what was happening, so I freaked out a bit. That's already happened once, so I better check the walls. Oh no. Try it again, shall we? Bing. Oops. Wart. I do wish there were some more advanced setups with this, like deciding whether to keep them alive or to destroy them. But the way it is right now, I think it works well enough. The end. It's one of those things where I wish the gimmick was explored. The gimmick's novel enough, but I wish it was explored further. But right now, it's just mainly used for progression gating, and that's about it. Ah, shoot. Let me through! I must have got turned into a roll pancake. Hang on, J-Butters, I'll see your comment. I'll pause. I could probably solve the problem with dull selection levels in a queue depending on by changing how I presented myself around the community. I definitely see that, J-Butters. The issue with Maker is that, well, in this state, it also has to do with me, I don't really have enough to latch on to, and unfortunately, it's kind of hard to continuously play off of level. It is difficult to play off of levels when most of them are The good levels, when they have a lot, the good or insightful levels, or even some of the not so good levels, if that's something interesting to talk about, I can go off on them. Which is why I'm able to talk more about fan games and stuff, and indie titles. But yes, if I take a more active role, put more jokes in, I can do that. But to me at least it's more of a chicken and egg thing, because in order for me to play off of jokes and such, I need some viewers to bounce off ideas from. At least that's how I feel, like it's a touch and go thing. This is part of the reason why I so much enjoy, for example, the collaborative Let's Tries or co-op games. And yeah, unfortunately for latching outside of Maker, there isn't really any other games I play that a viewer can directly supply their content to and I can check out and play through. The closest thing I think of is like 30XX and perhaps mods. But yeah. I do agree that there is that. Hi, Buster. Like, I do agree over time I should actually be Okay. As I was saying, I do agree that I should be taking a more active role in providing more energy to these episodes. Especially the... Maybe not so much Maker, as that tends to be more chill, but especially for the indie titles and action-based things, I'm a little bit too low energy, so to speak. At least that's how I feel. I don't trust that. Let me in! To Sylveon, I don't have enough context about MJ and Spider-Man Venom, so I'll just smile and wave. Mega Man is one of those platformers where you can constantly be paranoid once you see there are fake or Yoku blocks. Yoku blocks, especially in this engine, because they can't really spawn off screen, and they follow, and the timers they follow are not necessarily global. Or they are global. Yeah, they're global, but in some cases it'd be much better if they were local. Help. This is not the best character to find him with. Okay. Problem solved. Huh? Oh no, oh no. Galaxy? Hello? Yeah. Sure. Destroy the core! Okay, that's a little bit different. Goodbye, battleship. We rescued you too. No, J Butters. Some of these things you're pointing out, I've been thinking about for a while. Like, the main reason why I cover Maker streams on a regular basis right now is due to really two things, to be honest. One of which is the very small number of levels which are interesting enough for me to keep on coming back, entertaining enough. One of those being Sunflower's levels, so props for that. And another example would be Le Patio. Like, as much as I criticize the challenge flow and some weird difficulty spikes, their levels actually offer challenges to me and try using the engine to its fullest potential, for better or worse. And sometimes try doing novel things. They are not pushovers, and they're not just, most of the time, they're not just boring Kaizo fests. They actually push me. Having some other pull would be good. Like, the other pull of this channel, I would argue, is indie games, but to be quite frank, I need to pick a genre or a sub-genre and stick to it and try covering as many titles in there as possible. Like, right now I do a lot of let's tries, but in reality, let's tries are nice for cursory glances, and some are much more successful than others. I really need to focus on a subgenre those. So a specific subgenre, do that as well as full titles. I don't even need to be that big, it's just if I have 10 or 20 active viewers, that'll be enough. And there are a few occasions where I did have that, J-Butters. Heck, even 50 or 100 active viewers. Sonic Amateur Games Expo. Or heck, even the Steam Next Fest streams sometimes. Like, Sage streams are amazing because not only am I covering games I wouldn't usually cover, it's so heartwarming to go through. It feels heartwarming to cover amateur games, which even if they're very unpolished, janky, etc., they have most of them have a lot of heart to them. Plus, during, before, and after the streams, I can interact with the devs. I really should be going harder on those, PH. Also, I should actually be collabing more with not just Mega Man creators, but indie game creators in general around my size. Especially with how the algorithms work, it's necessary. There are certain platforms which I won't spread to because of various reasons, but even here I need to. Oh, we'll get to Neo Arcadia, and when we get to Zero Zeros, I'll discuss New Arcadia in more detail, but I'll just say this. I actually appreciate what they were trying to say with that. You know, Arcadia, false utopia, built under oppression and genocide of mostly innocent people, only for the oppression to get even worse. The horrific mistake they made by not just killing Dr. Weil outright. My answer to that, Sylv, is, enough of society broke down to the point where, because most society broke down only outside a few areas, Dark Elf really wandered the land that was an apocalyptic wasteland. Did I play Basetroid Tree? I'm not sure, actually. Could you send that to me just to be sure? If I have time, I can do it now, actually. Your level will be next, Hard Gus. Pouring up is Wily Space Takeover by Para0. 13 plays and a score -1. I mean, even if I don't stream Maker as much in the future, I'm still gonna come back to that because it has been such a game changer for the channel. That and Magmo. Speaking of that, as a matter of fact, speaking of that, J-Butters, that's a series I actually need to get back to and fulfill my promise. I've barely completed, like, what is it, 15-20%? I know who technically won the contest, but I haven't actually played their level. And I really should. Arcadia is a bad place because there's no sprite. Cranberry. True. It doesn't help that many of the jokes I make on other servers will not land here, or maybe one or half of you would understand it. Sometimes it sucks having a dry/absurd sense of humor. Lightning! Yeah, you're the one person, maybe. Oh, no. Okay, I'm alive. I'll double check just to be sure. Ow. Oh no, oh no! Hurry, hurry, hurry! You know, I want to see a custom sign added to the game where it says Danger Yokus instead. I think my favorite moments with you co-commentating, one of my favorite moments was during Fire Girl and Water Boy in Temple. Especially that moment where you died 20 times in that one puddle. I still remember that years later. I know it's not actually been years later, but it feels that way. Yeah, I love lag too. I know that feel. For all the time things trying to test Super Freaks over Parsec, yeah. Time is wacky and space is bendable. So much has happened, it feels like it's been a few years. But yeah, one thing I have to actually be catching up more is covering more of the games you want to see, not just Maker. That's for example I did Squirrel with a Gun. And honestly, for at least half the levels I'd rather be playing that despite some of its design decisions and difficulties finding things. Whoop, what? Excuse me, hang on. What was that? I can freeze that? I didn't know that until today. Oh my gosh. So, I'm still learning new things that Maker has every day. Oh my gosh, I never thought to try that in 9 as well. Thank you for the advice. Like, I thought that only worked against the magma beams. Thank you, dog. You're the best. So yeah, sooner rather than later, I am gonna have to do I will be doing Sonic Rush. Like, it's been a while since I covered a game you wanted me to see. You wanted me to play J Butters. Let's do that. Oh no! Okay, not the worst example, and that was funny. I did a Cutman fan game? Let me back. No. Let me try it again, shall we? Man, Jelly Go. Wow, that was back in the era where walkthroughs for Flash games were more popular. Like, I remember playing that, but the Death walkthrough wasn't that good either. I didn't even 3-star all the levels there. It was that bad. It was back in the era of the channel where I thought, hey, I'm gonna post random walkthroughs of games that I enjoy. Specifically, web games. Well, that era would be mainly Flash games, but maybe in Java games around the time. I didn't even think back then to really post Mega Man content. It was only because I wanted to experiment with something that I actually posted my first playthrough of Rock Force or Unlimited. I forget which one was first. Oh yeah, Super Danny. Now that is, I didn't even know how that playthrough became so popular because of how inexperienced I was at Mega Man Classic fan games back at the time, and the audio quality being scuffed, not to mention missing some very basic secrets. But yeah, Super Danny powered up. Made by Blyka of Blyka's Engines fame. Aha, not fault. Oh. Aha. What? Okay, down I go. That was a fake ladder. If we're gonna have a ladder... why put a fake ladder up there then? At least put a collectible or something. Yeah, different YouTube meta. It was back then where Mega Man was also in a dearth of content. Sometimes I miss that. Other times I realize, oh gosh, the Mega Man fan game community, the discourse there was kind of toxic. I laughed a few minutes ago. I guess it was trending, sort of, maybe. And I'd say back then there were fewer Mega Man related channels. There may have been more Mega Man channels, but they were smaller and scrappier, as opposed to nowadays. It also doesn't really help me that, well, there's more polished channels out there which more deliberately cover fan game content on a more regular basis, and unlike me, more heavily employ clickbait and other techniques. I really should actually be making a highlight reel. I really should be making highlight reels for my main Let's Plays. Or heck, stop calling them Let's Plays. Just call them streams or playthroughs by this point. The era of just calling all the playthroughs Let's Plays is long gone. Heck, even just repeatedly saying it's blind playthroughs, it's kind of more expected nowadays. Oh, old Mega Man Revolution. We all made jokes about how lengthy the stages were. And then Revenge of the Fallen came out. Man, that's another game I do need to Let's Play, but it's not aged as well, I'll say that. I appreciate for what that game did, but oh gosh. The levels did not have to be that long, nor have to play slower than their general speed. And no, I'm not going to be playing the abridged version. I'd argue it actually gets rid of the main thing that makes Revenge of the Fallen interesting, which is the Metroidvania-esque level design and backtracking, as well as the levels with multiple different paths. Oh my... Oh no, oh no. Help. Not the music I play when running for my life. Right. Oops. Let me out! Whew. Certainly Wily Space Takeover and Destruction. Just become Royal Mitchell. Royal Mitchell is a gem. They're way more dedicated to Mega Man than I ever was. They were in fact one of my main inspirations for getting into Mega Man Let's Plays and playthroughs. But I simply don't have the time, patience, or skill in order to perfect run the classic games. I'm sorry. Even 100%ing the Battle Network games. But even they have already branched out, starting from several years ago. The other person I can think of is Pink Kitty Rose and Clement J, but the former has already branched out heavily, and the latter has formally retired from playthroughs. So, yeah, time is changing. Luckily, Capcom has realized the series actually has merit, and the latest Star Force Legacy Collection has been enormously popular. I mean, if Capcom didn't release Mega Man 11 the several years, more than half a decade ago, I feel like this channel would have been, if this channel was covering fan games at this point, either would have a bunch of new we'd have more new Mega Man fan games out, or I would have branched out to Mario and Sonic fan games by now. That's a sad thing. Despite for many years now, Mega Man fans keeping the series alive through fan projects and fan works, there's only so far it can go before the flame really just dampens out. Not all fandoms are like fireflies. Yep, turns out we still got fan games to cover, thankfully. For example, Magmal Tree, which is, despite what we may or may not think about the game, I still need to cover the levels. And heck, there's more famous fan games out there which I haven't covered, like for example, Revenge of the Fallen. I'm waiting for the new version of Revolution. Square Root of -1. Rocks. Dongs. Alpha? Not to mention the in-development ones, which will eventually release. Name a good Sonic game that isn't Generations, Frontiers, Colors, or Unleashed. So I'm assuming we're not counting the Cross Shadow DLC. Tree and Knuckles. Mania. I'm gonna take a short pause. There's 2 levels left. Oh, and before I leave, 16 years ago to this day, I repeat, 16 years ago today, Henry Stickmin found a way to escape the prison at Newgrounds.com. Alright, be right back. I have returned! Sorry for the extra delay. This hedgehog is pissing me off. I am the original hedgehog. J Butters, who is hot? I don't even know who the conductor's wife is, nor the conductor. Is this English? No, this is Megamix. Just kidding. Oh, you're from Yumland. Oh, I need to read that. Play through it, etc. What have you. Okay, I see you posted your video under gaming, so I'll see it after that. I'm gonna cover 2 or 3 levels, then yours. Before I do Base Droid, let me see if I actually did something like that. Yeah, I did 2, I didn't do 3. Fine. Alright, 5th up is the Super Fire Base. So 5th up is the Super Fire Base, hard level by Hard Gus. 29 plays and a score -1. I'm SpongeBob. I'm SpongeBob. Moxie has a much better SpongeBob imitation voice. I mean, I've always said before that the best comparison in Mega Maker's engine is Magmal 2. Megamix is basically the successor for 2. So, yeah. Yeah, I'll do the react before Base Droid 3. What happened to the audio on the magma beams? Oh no. I just want to get up. Why would Katna need to be an organ donor? Like, why do we need robo-organs? I think you mean parts donor. Hey, Manubi. They're quiet when they're this far underground. Oh, I don't like this. Tap walking here is risky. I hope the rest of the stage isn't like this. That this is, Huh? Mega Man, I thought... Okay. If the rest of the stage is as hard, I can totally understand why I got a negative score. There's some stages where it takes a while to understand why I got the rating it did, usually negative, and there are others where it becomes very apparent why. There are fun magma beam setups. This is not one of them. See the problem? If I go too fast, I'll walk into the magma beam. If I'm too slow, I'll get hit by the back magma beam. When you have challenges like this, you have to ask yourself, will do yourself and other players, will they find it fun? Like, it's the same repetitive challenge without variation, really. I wouldn't say 5 years ago. I could say just like a month ago. Like, an easy way to make it more fun is just vary up the distance between them, or put some horizontal ones. If I could just damage boost, it'd also help a lot. Are you kidding me? I thought sliding is safe, but it extends back. Ugh. I wish sliding was one of those things which extends in the reverse, only extends forwards, not back. Again, you need to, whenever you make challenges like this, you need to ask yourself, will others enjoy it? Unless they're trying to make a Troll or Kaiser level. You've made better levels before, Hard Gus. What happened here? The hardest thing I can think of equivalent to be like some of the patio stages, but they have, how should I say it? Much more novel setups for their pain and suffering. This is just boring. Okay, now... checkpoint. You know, I was kind of half expecting it to not even have a checkpoint. You can make funny troll levels, I've seen that, but at least have something more of a... Even the teleporter trick is funnier. Get me to the other side! Ah! And now that's time. I know, it's not even supposed to be a troll level, and functionally design-wise it feels like it. I'm gonna have to walk to the other side, so I'm gonna do it now. I don't want to end up dying with just after I defeat the boss. Okay, passed. Oh, how I wish there was a way I could extend my iframes. So yeah, the 8-minute break, when I do that, it's gonna be much better. Hilariously, this means that this section is easier because I can actually damage boost twice through it. I know it's supposed to be harder if you're trying to do a damage list, but... there are different levels of frustration I have with stages. Or famously, you know how much I complain about some of Lapatia's level design decisions. But underlying that criticism, though, when I complain about Lapatia's level design, it more has to do with some sometimes unfair setups, or inconsistent difficulty, or setups. I misread it. And it sends me back here. Here, though, the problem with the difficult setups is that outside maybe the horizontal section, they're just the same thing over and over. Boring. Hit me, please, thank you. Let me up. I mean, if I need an E-tank at the final part of the stage, I'll just use the level editor. I just treat everything, I treat basically almost everything Sil says as non-serious. Even the things that are supposed to be treated serious. It's the best way for comprehending things. See, sections like these are more interesting, with more variation of the enemies and platforming, while still involving the magma laser generators. Okay, who are we fighting? Oh man, let me out. I know exactly where this is leading to. I don't like it. Sorry, little fireman's adventure. Yeah, this is way easier than the previous heat tank. There is an instant death everywhere. Ah, checkpoint. Probably, but that's because Sylva's been here for longer. I hate to say it, this stage also suffers from like when I was talking about the patio, a difficulty curve problem because any part with the horizontal magma generators is much harder than the rest of the stage. And those segments are not, the first segment is very close to the beginning, and the other one's in the middle. Then the rest is so much easier, like, if you just deleted those two sections, immediately the stage would become much better. Heck, even the boss fight itself, I would decrease it, sure, but it's a lot more tolerable because you can damage boost. Come back! Like, I'm gonna give this stage a downvote for sure, because I want to make something clear. I don't mind difficult challenges. I played a bunch of levels in Mega Man which are difficult, but something being difficult doesn't mean it should be boring. That's why, for example, I would rate Lepandio's unfair, quote-unquote unfair or difficult challenges over this, because even if they're not the best polished, they're interesting. But that's all I'll say because I'm just repeating myself. Initially I thought this was going to be some sort of troll level, but no, it's just, you want to be blunt. Not properly designed. Oh, I haven't played 2 yet. Challenger from the future. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be playing one more stage after this. I don't know if I'll actually do Base Troy 3 today because of time restrictions, but we'll see. Another thing, why do we have to wait so long for that to respawn if we're just a bit late? That is rude too. At least add another set. This is the most animated I've become of a stage today. And this is one of the stages which does things which irk me a lot. That's why. That's what I was talking about earlier, Jay Butters, about energy. I usually get more energetic about stages which do things really well or really wrong. Or at least have something interesting to that. This comes in the really wrong category. Keep punching me. I must survive. Thank you, game. Thank you also, game, for not letting me slide faster. Yeah, I'll save it for next week then. If it's harder than the rest, I'm doing it later. I mean, I can eventually finish the stage and just very much dislike it and say not recommend it. That's not really a good enough justification. I'm sorry, Hard Goss, but this is just a miss. Your previous stages are better than this. try harder next time. Oh, that's why. These conveyors are extra strong. Let me guess, it loops back. I am not gonna make negativity my gimmick, no. There are way more than... iShow speed isn't even the worst of being... I wouldn't even consider iShow speed to be like the bastion negativity. There are far more negative influencers out there. There's 1,000 too many, and that's a gross underestimate. In this channel, I tend to be focusing on things on the nicer side. Like, I tend to be blunt, overly charitable to several games' flaws. At the same time, I have limits. Like, despite how more energetic I'm being here, at worst I'll say, please try again harder. I am not going to go into the deep end. If I really dislike the stage that much, what I would have done is just go to the level editor. There are many more levels and games I could be playing if I really wanted to be more frustrated in a fun way. Not to get too much into the weeds, but unfortunately there's too many Adun Sunflora. Can we have more Kings of Love instead? Okay. I'm actually a bit impressed with how merciful the stage is, while at the same time being, it's due to stuff like this, like the teleporter, and how relatively frequent the checkpointing is. Then I feel like the stage became unintentionally difficult due to a lack of playtesting. Sections like these I'm okay with. They're supposed to be difficult, and they're difficult in a fairer, more enjoyable way. Oh look, the vertical variant. I just wish that the stage designer didn't have a love affair with the horizontal magma generators placed in like that. Like, if this stage really wanted to be torturous, there'd be no teleporter and the checkpoints would be half as frequent. That's why I find there's a weird dichotomy. I mean, if you use Big Eyes, if you replace the beams with Big Eyes, immediately most of the stage will become a lot more tolerable. Namely, as the Big Eyes are not instant death. Raising the beams, yeah. Fine. It's like the dichotomy of stage is simultaneously torturous and weirdly merciful. YouTube is taking away Buster's chat privileges. If you continue to have issues, try posting on Twitch instead. Why is this level relies on its horizontal magma beams like it's Christmas? Man, it's Christmas in April. Christmas after global warming. Sure. That did not work how I thought it would. Thank you. Please don't tell me there's a magma beam generator right at the end. I'm gonna rage if that happens. You could have also been more rude with where you placed the enemies right at the near. Like you actually place the enemies not actually at the edge of the platforms, but midway through, so players actually have more time to react instead of having to pre-fire. What is this? An actually novel idea. I know, it's fairly straightforward, but, I would have expected, by the way things are going, I would expect more like Magma Beam Christmas again. And I know where the soups do now. Welcome back. We haven't finished descending to hell yet. Sorry. 5 minutes of grazing the beams. If I knew this would happen, I would have practiced with some shmups. Oh look, we actually have a variant on this at last. I know it's horizontal as well, but actually you varied it up vertically. See, this could have been like the second or third setup. Don't worry, I'll take off my caustic hat after the stage is done. Oh, there we are again. See ya, Buster. I'll see you tomorrow for Super Mega Man 3. Something that's actually interesting. In a stupid way, but you get the idea. For a moment there, I was getting worried I was actually backtracking. To get credit where credit's due in Super Mega Man 3, most of the special weapons actually feel fun to use. Heck, even the shield weapon's a lot better than I expected. Although hilariously, the explosive weapon is weaker than you would think. Some of them don't deal enough damage. Are you... How big is this gauntlet? Literally, you may... Sure. I don't consider... You can spoil an 11-year-old game, just don't talk about the ending. That's fine. Like, outside of the ending stages, this... Super Mega Man 3 is nothing special. Also, something else that can improve the stage, use more types of enemies instead of like the 4 or 5 it's been using repeatedly. And I'm not using E-tanks because I instant dead everywhere. Alright, here we go. Let me through. Okay, who are we fighting now? I'm not gonna repeat my complaints about this stage until I reach the end. And I'm turning into a broken record. Again. Ringman? Ow. I got the water. What else do I need? Alright, is this it? Please tell me it's it. It's over. Mega Man is escaping from hell. Part 1. Normally I don't downvote levels, but I want to make something abundantly clear here. I don't mind playing through difficult stages. Heck, I played through plenty of difficult stages throughout this playthrough, whether it be this year, last year, or throughout the journey. And many times I have aired frustration in various sections, whether that be like seriously or facetiously, or facetiously, whatever. Sometimes, often playing up my actual frustration, but there's a difference between like temporarily getting frustrated as part of the enjoyment, and the frustrated in terms of this is more the latter. And I don't think this is deliberately trying to troll me or frustrate me in that way. I don't mind going to challenges that also require precision, or have intricate setups, or require particular levels of precision. The main problem I have with this stage is that the sections that involve this amount of waiting, and I find to be the most annoying, they are almost exactly the same, only exception being the first one. Those being the horizontally stacked, those being the magma beam generators placed horizontally back to back, as if it's Christmas. The first one I feel was the hardest because even though it was technically shorter than most of them, there were not as many enemies to damage boost off of, except one, so you have to be much more careful with your tap walking. But the future ones, you had more enemies to damage boost off of, so even if you took a lot of damage, it wasn't so bad because A, the checkpoint placement was interestingly much more fair than expected, and B, well, failure there is usually instant death. If you were to just delete all those magma beam sections, or make them more or actually vary them up, like the one section where you place them on different sides, bottom top, immediately the stage would become much more interesting. or more enjoyable. But even if we put those aside, this stage suffers from repetition of ideas. Like, we also had the sections where you had to jump for the conveyor belts across the lava with magma beam generators and enemies in the middle. That idea was repeated 3 or 4 times without enough variation, little to no variation on the same concept. Not really getting harder, not really getting easier. I think that's the biggest sin of the stage, outside of, I think that's the biggest sin of the stage, the amount of repetition. You could easily just cut down on half the stage and barely anything would be lost, or heck, even 70% of the stage. I'd like to make a comparison to La Patio, especially their harder stages. Despite them having issues more than I would like of challenge progression, difficulty progression, and setups, even when I feel it's frustrating, the stages themselves go out of their way to vary up the challenges. Even if they're kind of like more obstacle courses, they feel more like obstacle courses than areas that exist. And even if they require intricate setups and precision, they do try having the stage itself doesn't feel like it's the same thing over and over and over. In short, as Jay Butters puts it, comically uninteresting and does little to innovate on level assets that have been in editor for nearly a decade. Oh yeah, repetitive and why didn't you use more enemies or gimmicks? Like, I understand wanting to make a longer stage, but you have to justify your stage length to a degree, and for longer stages, you have to put enough assets to justify its length. This simply overstretched the ideas, well past their breaking point, and frankly, they didn't even get to use their fullest potential, which is the sad part. Like the poor falling platforms. Unfortunately, I kind of out of time, so I won't do base droid tree, but I will note it down for next week. So I count this as a miss, a hard Gus. Your previous levels were better. So overall, of the 5 Veersmith levels I covered in today's morning stream, my favorite one would be Galactic Battleship by Sunflower Azumarill. I don't know if I'll have a stream next week for Maker, but we'll see. Now, before I end up the stream, as promised, I do have something. Hang on a moment while I bring it up. Actually, wait a moment. That's not how it's set up correctly. Okay, fine, it'll work. The problem here is that the screen is improperly cropped, so I'm fixing that right now. I would make it so that the left side of the screen, which may include important information, is shown. Hang on one moment. After this is done, I will do the art showcase. So if you're waiting for that to be shown, please wait. Alright, we are here. This was sent by Mr. Darkfin. Crawling in My Skin, Night 4 boss fight plus graphics overhaul work in progress showcase. This is their horror team, the indie project game. I'm gonna turn up the volume so you can actually hear. Based on this and what I remember, the main objective of the game is to protect yourself from that menacing creature outside. And you do that by using your flashlight to force them out, as well as locking down the doors. But all that costs battery to use. Watching and playing all these games have taught me that if I ever get hired for a job like this, I'll make sure to buy some battery packs. And an extra powerful flashlight. Dudes? I thought it's just one dude. Or dudette. Okay, maybe two. Ooh, that was close. Okay, that's different. There's more color now. Okay, there's three: blackened doors, Gaze the flashlight one, and Slitter the Slenderman looking one. Let me turn up the volume so you can better hear the music. I'm watching, Buster, and welcome back. Sharkfin asked me to watch a video of their latest project game, so I decided, sure. The React channel, yeah, technically this is the React showcase, but with a video with actual substance. One of the reasons why I stopped doing the React channel is because certain users, not naming names, just ended up just spamming the channel with topics of the functionally just more videos of the same topic over and over without much substance. And no, Sylv isn't one of them, because even with their more SCP or SCP Live videos or Horror Team videos, they actually had variances there and differences. And speaking of React channels in general, they never died out. They just branched out, I'd say. I don't really do reacts here because A, I'm trying to focus more on games, but I will react to smaller things, and B, worries about copyright. And frankly, I don't like to profit. I frankly don't like to react to videos. And frankly, I don't like to react to videos where they're monetized because, well, by doing so, they don't get any ad revenue from me. If I could share it, sure. Otherwise, it just feels like I'm just profiting off of the backs of people who put most that are gone. Profiting off the backs of people who spend all the time and effort to fix these. And doing little to no effort. I know playing games isn't as high effort as making them, stuff, or more detailed analysis, but at least I have to put some effort to beating them. Like, it's one thing to be playing through the games, which some of them can be very difficult, and you can modulate quite a few of the difficulties of them. It's another thing to just sit back and react to things, especially on topics that I don't really have as much knowledge on. I can say, mini react as, ooh, cool, or, oh, what? Now, if it's in my subject area and where I can provide more expertise, like Mega Man, sure, but... Anyways, time for the art showcase. I already saw that. Here's an elf from J Butters. Ah, yes. Wide. That's all I'll say. But yeah. Nice starting point. You're certainly a better drawer than I am. That ending. I mean, sure, we can do that. I'm turning this down a bit. Uh-oh. I did, it may have been missed.
I never knew what power was.
That's all I'll say about that. So no more, please. Remember, I don't want to fight those. Music is, when it kicked up, it was decent for building up the atmosphere. Game was, I can definitely see how it has a direct inspiration for FNAF. But I don't really play those sorts of games. Sylv actually has the most knowledge of it out of anyone here. And honestly, I don't know, it feels a bit too basic. We're mainly in just one room, and the only real mechanics are like shining a light in the window and closing the doors. I guess shining a light through the cages too. Again, I don't really play games that are... I don't really play horror themed games, so I'm not a good audience. But okay, I do understand asking someone who isn't in that radius because there is a important. It is important to ask people outside of the target audience to see what they think. What I'll say is the music does a decent job. Keep it. Gameplay wise, I don't know. It just feels a little bit too basic. I wish there was more things to do to subvert, or if there are more creatures, beings that you have to deal with in different ways. Right now, it just feels a little bit too simplistic. But it seems to be mainly go down to checking the map, using the light, or locking down the doors or passageways. Of course, it also depends on how long the game is. Whoa, that's shimmery. Kick me. DK on if they shut down Kremkroc Industries. Yeah, seems about right. And with that, that finishes the art showcase, and subsequently the stream. Thank you to everybody who either submitted their art, submitted their levels, or simply participated in chat. It's thanks to your continued support why I continue to produce new content for the channel. Really appreciate it. And I will take into consideration what you said, Jay Butters. If anything, next week I'll probably may or may not scuttle the Maker stream on Saturday, but we'll see. In any case, if you're enjoying this or any other video stream on the channel, please rate, comment, favorite, and or subscribe as they all help it out. Don't forget to follow me on Blue Sky and Mastodon as well, and join my Discord server as I regularly post updates there. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all in about 6 hours.